At its core, this book presents a powerful argument. The methodologies and mindset traditionally reserved for designers are not just for creating attractive objects, but are essential tools for tackling the multifaceted challenges of business, society, and everyday life. This approach, termed design thinking, is a human-centered discipline that integrates what is desirable from a human perspective with what is technologically feasible and economically viable. It is less about the isolated moment of a brilliant idea and more about a structured yet flexible process for making that idea tangible, effective, and resonant. The journey of design thinking is not a linear path but a dynamic interplay between three interconnected spaces: inspiration, ideation, and implementation. Inspiration involves identifying a problem or opportunity, often by deeply observing human behavior in real-world contexts. This moves into ideation, where ideas are generated, developed, and tested. Finally, implementation is the path that brings the idea to life in the market or community. A project will cycle through these spaces multiple times, with learning from each phase refining the approach in the others. True innovation lies in balancing the three core constraints of any project: feasibility, what is functionally possible; viability, what can be sustainable in the long term; and desirability, what people actually need or want. The most successful solutions, like the Nintendo Wii, harmonize these elements rather than treating them as separate concerns. A fundamental pillar of this process is learning to see the world through the eyes of others. Revolutionary insights rarely come from asking people what they want directly. Instead, they emerge from careful observation of how people adapt to their environments through unconscious thoughtless acts. Watching someone prop open a door with a coffee cup or untangle cables with homemade labels reveals unmet needs more clearly than any survey. Beyond observation, the philosophy encourages involving people as active participants in creating solutions. When individuals help shape an experience, as with a grocery store that allows cooking classes within its aisles, the result is more personally meaningful and engaging, moving beyond mere utility to create genuine emotional connection. To advance ideas quickly and effectively, the book champions the power of thinking with your hands. Prototyping, building simple, low-resolution models of an idea, is not a final step but a crucial starting point. A rough prototype, perhaps made from everyday items, forces abstract concepts into the physical world, allowing teams to learn from its flaws, explore variations, and gauge user reactions in real time. This hands-on experimentation accelerates learning by simultaneously engaging the inspirational, ideational, and implementation spaces. It transforms discussion into action, revealing what works and what doesn't long before significant resources are committed. Another key tool is the ancient art of storytelling. In a world saturated with products and data, a compelling narrative makes an idea understandable, memorable, and emotionally resonant. Design thinkers craft stories that explain a product's origin, illustrate its use over time, and, most importantly, place the customer at the center of the narrative. Whether it's tracing the journey of a garment back to the sheep that provided the wool or mapping a sailor's voyage to define features for a navigation system, stories build context and connection. The most powerful stories are those that users can complete themselves, becoming co-authors in the experience, which deepens their commitment and engagement. Fostering this kind of innovation requires the right culture and team structure. Creativity flourishes in environments that encourage experimentation and view intelligent failure as a necessary step in learning, not a cause for punishment. Physically, spaces should be flexible and collaborative, but more importantly, the organizational atmosphere must be psychologically safe for taking risks. Innovation is also a team sport, best performed by diverse, interdisciplinary smart teams that bring together designers, engineers, marketers, and end users from the very beginning. This diversity of thought, when harnessed in a dedicated space, physical or digital, prevents blind spots and generates more robust, holistic solutions. Ultimately, this mindset is driven by a foundational curiosity, a relentless habit of asking why. It pushes beyond surface-level symptoms to uncover root causes and challenges the status quo. This curiosity must be coupled with a bias toward action and a willingness to take ideas out into the world to see how they fare. Furthermore, the philosophy has a natural application in promoting positive social change, such as encouraging sustainable behaviors. By designing systems that make better choices easier, more attractive, and more intuitive, it moves beyond preaching to actually shaping new habits and patterns. The book concludes that this integrative, human-centered approach is not a niche skill but an essential new literacy, a way of thinking and doing that empowers anyone to shape the world for the better.